Like, you asked me about the Super Bowl, you know, did I cry? No, I didn't for the Super Bowl. But at that moment, I did cry. It was probably my first time my girl ever saw me cry, like, for real. Like, I think I was, like, so happy, and I'm like, I told her, and then I called my parents, and I made sure they got all my sisters on the line. I'm like, Tampa Bay goes up to the Super Bowl. And then, like, I was like, everything that happened in the off season, us getting all the good pieces to the puzzle and stuff like that, and then, like, this whole year, like, the hard work that everybody put in, like, from, like, being released a couple times, well, once, really, I only got released one time, and then, like, them bringing me back, me being in the active roster, playing in games, you know, for the first time in 3 years, right? That were 4 years now total. So the first 3 years was like a lot of practice squad, and then I finally got like on the active roster last year, and then this year. So getting my credit seasons and stuff like that. So it's been great. So then we made it to the Super Bowl, get to kiss the Lombardi. Made friends that's gonna be a lifetime worth of friends, and made a lot of money. Not a whole lot of money, but a lot, like more than I've had made. That's AB. That's AB. But yeah, we made a lot of money, and now I'm able to invest in a lot of stuff that, like, it takes money to make money. So now I have, like, I bought my house, and I think the thing I was thinking about the most when I bought my house was like, man, I have something to give my son. You know, it wasn't even like, man, I bought a house, and that was another moment. I'm driving home, telling my parents, and sent them a picture of like the soul sign, and I started crying. Like as I was driving, so it was kind of like dangerous. Like my eyes watering, I'm like, I bought a house. You feel like a grown man then, because I still be feeling like a kid most of the time. So any questions? How many times I wanted to stop? Like 2. One time, I think. One time. I don't even think that it was I wanted to stop. It was more so like, it was just kind of like a moment of a thought though. It didn't linger. And I think that's what's important, right? Like you're gonna have like those negative thoughts, kind of like snap back. Cause if you get into a thought, like anybody ever had like anxiety or anything like that? And like those things, when you have an anxiety, like, it's whatever it's telling you, like it's the truth, right? Like anxiety is a ever effort, like it's the truth. Like if you telling yourself like you dying, like you dying, like like it's the truth. So I think when I went through like a moment in my life, like probably like 5 months where I was having like real bad anxiety, like attacks, like, and I was like, I learned a way like to snap myself back into like that moment, like, nah, until like that the anxious thought, like, this isn't true. Like what's real, like what I'm seeing right now is what it is. Like, but you're gonna get anxious and that's cool, but it's just combating that thought with like your truth, like that you know, like, yeah, I wanna quit, it's not working out right now, but it could work out. And it can boom. You know, it's like a stop. Just invest, it could, or it can shoot up.
Now, earlier, my bad.
Right before I get to you, him right here in the front.
Like Brandon was talking about, that closing gap, that window where you feel like on the borderline. In what part of your career did you feel like you hit that point, and what made you keep going?
Like the very beginning of trying to get back into football, like all of those doors, yeah. And then like somebody told me that it was like if you're gonna do it, like you gotta do it now, because like you can't come back like when you're 40 and try to make it to the league. So it's kind of like, all right, I gotta get it. And then like every time I'm getting that positive feedback from scouts or from the teams and like just kind of seeing how much I was growing, that's what keep propelling me forward.
Now, earlier, it really kind of touched me when you said that you have to tell people like your dreams.
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to think about it. How was it, like, how did you tell people, like, would you say, I'm going to the NFL? Or like, what was it that you would tell other people so they could like help you get your dreams like accomplished?
Yeah, it's having just, like usually like when you're like in good relationships with people like your friends and stuff like that, like those conversations I guess just come up. It's not like, you know, or if you and your friends don't have like those conversations, you should bring them up. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't mean that it ain't your real friends, but sometimes people don't have like those elevated conversations that's gonna make them grow. But I think that everybody around us should push us like to get, and you should want to push your friends to get what they dream of and what they accomplish. It's like if I'm talking to my girlfriend and like she has certain dreams, I should support her in all those dreams. Or I could just watch her and see like the things that she's doing and maybe pick up like, okay, like she want to start like a nail company, like let me help push her into that area. But if you're not having those dreams, like, you know, sometimes it happens over drinks, you know. Man, I want to go to the league, or like, man, I'm trying to start this like company or whatever. I want to get into real estate or whatever. Like, what you think about this? And stuff like that, you know, just different stuff like that. I think it's having those conversations and just present it to them. And then usually, like, if they support you, like, I had somebody who I thought was like a real friend to me, like, and our friendship now is like, I'm cool with them, but at the same time, and it's kind of bad, like, that I think of them like this. When I see them, I kind of think of like, because it's way back then, and they kind of be telling me congrats and stuff now, but like, when I started going for it, she was my friend, but she told my girlfriend at the time, like, why are you letting Cyril do that? Like, why are you letting him, like, just do that? You know what I'm saying? So it's all right that sometimes it reveals, like, who really, like, in your corner or whatever. Or maybe she had the right to feel like that because I hadn't played or whatever. Maybe she was trying to be supportive of me. But to me, like, if you know the type of person I am, like, I'm not taking a no and it's not gonna be a yes. Like, I'm gonna be successful in anything I want to be successful. And that's not like cocky. That's because like everything that I do, I work hard. Like if y'all come and work out with me, y'all gonna be like, oh, that's a hard working guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going hard, because every day I'm trying to get 1% better, at least. You know, somebody had a question.
So I'm gonna ask, one thing I've learned from some NFL coaches, particularly Coach Granville, who I played for, he talked about how while your athletic ability and your skills on the field gets you in the door, a lot of times it's the attention to detail that gets you out the door. And I was just wondering about your experience with that, especially coming from a place where you didn't play college football, and how do you adapt? And, you know, because you've been with a lot of different teams, so I'm sure you have some other experience with that.
Yeah, I think that was a great question, and great explanation from like a coach and stuff like that. He asked how important really is the attention to detail, because like when you line up a lot of people, like for the most part, probably across the league, like you see a lot of people like on like that same like talent level. It's like a couple people that you're gonna see who are like super freak athletes and stuff like that. But the people who you stick around, who like starters, they might not be the superstars. Like those are guys that's like, man, he just runs his routes. Like he just knows every position. Like he can play X, Z, F. Like he can play. If he needed to, he probably could play quarterback. But it's like it is like getting like study. So for me, when I first got in, that was probably like one of the hardest adjustments that I had, like learning to study football the players, like all the different names and all the different stuff, but once you get like the system or whatever, then it's easier to kind of learn like other stuff, like learn the kind of big picture. Because like this year, I probably could have played like any position, and that was the reason. That at first it was so hard. Like I was out there in the huddle, like it's easy to read it off the paper, and then like once you hear it, it's like
It's almost like you can't use your athletic ability because you can't
exactly.
think.
So sometimes like people are so much ahead of you because they just know the plays. Like they go out there and play free. Like they're like, all right, I can release like this because I got this. Like I'm out there. I remember I'm out there. I'm trying to think like, do I have a goal? Do I have a shot? Do I have a slant? Shit, I was still thinking, I'm just trying to go. You know what I'm saying? But it is that attention to detail, and then it goes even further, because now, like, once you know the plays and stuff, now it's like, okay, I can go out there, I know what I'm doing. I look at the defense, all right, there in this coverage, I want to run it like this. He's in press coverage, like I'm going to give him this release. And that's what you're thinking about, and now it makes the game so much easier, so much slower. Once the game slow down, like, you playing ball then. Anybody? Wait, let me get him. I'm going to come back to you because you asked the question.
I was going to ask, how was it reading official NFL playbook for the first time?
For the first time? Like, what this mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking for it to say, like, slant, right? Or, like, curl, or, like, that was the last thing I knew from high school. I was like, okay, just say whatever, and it tell you the routes, but it's called like some weird stuff, like, or they call it, and it's a whole concept rather than just like a single play. It's like, let me think, something. Like just say like a clown route, right? Like I'm like, clown route, like, what I'm supposed to do? Like, double clown, okay. But like on the paper, but it's like they just changed the name because it's like a corner route or something. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what made it like real weird and confusing to me because I didn't get it.
Realistically, who fast? You or Scott?
Me. Realistically.
When people always say that NFL is politics, is that the relationship part that you always talk about? Like knowing people or talking to people or having good relationships? Because I hear politics all the time when it comes to NFL.
It's politics everywhere, right?
But is that relationship?
Sometimes maybe, but I think politics come in like a little bit differently than like the relationships. Like so it's gonna get, it's like almost like nepotism, you know what that is? It's like, I'm gonna choose like my family like to come and work for me and put them in positions pretty much because I know them, because of my relationship. But all right, like if you're a college scout or if you're a pro scout and you pick this guy, right? And like, he's my third round pick, but there's this undrafted guy that comes in and I line them two up next to each other. This drafted guy, I'm looking for what I saw in him and what he does right, that I like, right? This undrafted guy, because I didn't pick him, he can't really be better than this guy that I put my stamp on, right? So he can play though, and he can keep up, but I already invested some money in him too, you know, so they're gonna look at me as the undrafted guy, the guy that they didn't really bring in, that they didn't put their stamp on, like, he did this right, I don't like the way he took his step, that step, I don't like it. This guy, he can do everything wrong, and then he catch the ball well, like what they thought he was, and he's like, that's my guy. And then that's to me, I think that's what's political. That's the political part, to me. That makes sense though, like if you pick somebody, like if you have a girlfriend, right, and a side chick, excuse me ladies, if you got a girlfriend and a side chick, like, most of the time, like, are you really gonna, like, leave, like, your girlfriend, like, for, like, not making up the bed or something like that? But, like, if you have a side chick come over and, like, that's your thought, like, man, like, I make up my bed every time, like, I ain't talking to her no more. Like, she ain't making up the bed. Like, it's anything to get them out the door. So I think that's political. That's political. Like, that's just real of it. She just, I got my snap on. She already posted everywhere. I gave her this and that.
You wild.
How did you tell your story to scouts that made them believe in you to play football? Because I relate really well with you. I did track for college as well. I was on scholarship. They wouldn't let me play football and track.
Right.
So how did you position that to scouts and NFL teams as to why you chose track over football?
Yeah, I don't even know if I really had like that actual conversation for real, like actually. But I guess kind of like when I get in there, how I handle business or whatever, like they let me, cause they do ask me like sometimes like, you plan on like running track like this all season or whatever, to see how serious I am about football or if I'm still like on the fence. I'm like, I'm done with track, pretty much. Yeah, so.
You know, all odds, like, you know how to say that pretty much, like, we all have odds against us, like, adversity, like, when the window is closed for you. I want to ask is, like, what was the truest, like, basically, what was the main point of you to keep going? Like, what was the main nut for you to keep playing?
Yeah, my want-to. Like I want to go. I want to keep going. That's the biggest one. And like I said kind of earlier, is that I always got good feedback. It wasn't like, but I did have this moment. Like I think somebody, I think it might have was you. Like I had this moment when I was like, I think it was when I was leaving the Saints. They told me like, man, you just look like you've grown so much, like from last year. I've been watching you since you come in or whatever, and then, but we're gonna let you go. I'm like, dog, tell me what's real. Like, stop telling me this or whatever. I've been hearing this everywhere. What's real? I'm not good enough, you know. But it is that feedback. I'm like, well, told me, like, and I've heard like some people say. Like, so when I was in Indianapolis and I was leaving, the guy was like, man, you've been doing good, practicing well, whatever, that I know. And then another guy said, and I promise, I probably missed 2 balls the whole time I was there, like 5 weeks. He like, man, you just gotta go ahead and get on the judge machine and catch a lot of balls. But, so that means that sometimes they do tell you like, what you might need to work on. So it's just kind of taking that feedback. And get somebody around you that's gonna be honest with you too, because you don't want a whole lot of yes men in your corner. You know, like if everybody's just saying yeah, like either I'm already supposed to be where I'm at, or like, all right, now I understand, yeah, like what I need to work on. Yeah.
What positions on special teams do you play with the Bucks? And can you give like any of the gunners and guys in the room who cover in the kick game some advice?
Yeah, I play gunner. I also play like a rusher, like for like the punt team. I'm like a destroyer. I play corner or safety sometimes, and I'm a returner.
Yeah.
That's all the teams. Yeah, that's all the teams. So I think it's just like lights on, lights off mentality, especially like playing gunner, you covering and stuff like that. It's like just go, like don't dance at the line or whatever. If you're gonna go and take an outside release, kind of be physical, release outside, but like up the field, obviously use your hands and just like whenever you're getting, if you're about to take a shot, like take that shot, like don't break down before you get to them. You know, like you try to break down, like that's when he gonna make you miss. Like if you take a shot, like that's gonna make him stutter his feet. So whether you make that play or not, like your teammate, so you made the play, because now he stuttered his feet and somebody else then came on the second wave and made the play. So that's what I say, like covering the kick, unless, I mean, you know, like fill your lanes and all of that type of stuff. And if you aren't like the one that's taking the shot, like just mirror his hips, like here, don't cross over. When you cross over, you're going down. Any good person with the ball gonna make you miss. But yeah, somebody.
Who's your biggest influence in keeping up with the whole football version that you need to really
My biggest influence? Helping me get to where I am now. Yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of inspired by myself now. I'm like at this point, if I quit, like I'm gonna be disappointed in me. I'm like, it's like, dang, you made this far. I was talking on the phone with this guy who, like now he's a lender, like for like this mortgage company, and like we built it. I didn't use his company, but because the builders gave me like a better percentage off or whatever. So I was just telling him like I can see myself like going to like the Hall of Fame. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I can see myself there. Like how far you see yourself, like is it like should I like is that good enough? You know, is it? Like it could be like that. Like if I decide to like walk away right now, every level that I've ever been on, I won a championship. Like I can, like that's the facts of it. But is that enough for me? It's not. I want to get a gold jacket one day. I don't know how. Like I keep saying, but I know I can do it. It's that mentality.
I know a lot of pro athletes have that moment where they know they were wrong. What was your moment you think, I can play in the NFL?
Yeah, I think.
Say release your mouth, I can play in the NFL. What was that moment? Like practice time?
Nah, I think like maybe the first preseason game like with the Saints, like that was when I was like, okay, like I'm really or at practice, like my coach there, he was attention to detail, like, and he was the person who got me playing like into who I am, like, sure, like, don't be doing all that dancing at the line, run right behind. Start running right behind and scoring touchdowns at practice and like blowing up like and starting to do good, and then like once I became who I am as a player, like that's when I knew like okay, I can do this. Like I had big returns like my first year and my second year, but like last year I was like, oh, I can play receiver. Like these dudes like going up against Marshawn Lattimore and like those guys, I'm like, oh, they kind of weak to me, like that's how I felt. Like, nah, but he a dog though, he good. But to me, I'm like, oh, I can run by him because that's what I do. And I'm fast, like, oh, I can beat him at the line. I made plays on him all camp, so I'm like, oh, I can do this. And then like all the other receivers, like, that's encouraging. I'm like, oh, I can ball. You know what I'm saying? That was when I knew, like, okay, I can play. And then last year, being at home, like all those weeks, that was like one of those times when I'm starting to like, those questions started like.
When that time period you was at home, how often were you training?
Every day.
No break?
I mean, not like every day, like not 7 days a week, but like training days. So my mentality then was like, I need to be practicing pretty much how the teams are practicing right now.
Yeah.
So they were in season, so I'm like, okay, they have like 2 hour practices. I need to be running around for 2 hours. I need to make sure I'm lifting like 3 days a week. That was me.
Always.
Like right now, when I'm working out, my girl probably be thinking I'm somewhere else. But I come home drenched and sweating. Right. If I got the video evidence, and y'all not girls in. Like, damn, I'm working out. Look here. You see? I got all type of stuff I'm doing. Hey, nah, I ain't gonna do all that. That's too much, like, not trust. Like, they ain't trusting me. Like, I mean, but yeah, dog, like, I'm working out. I work out all day. I love it. I love working out. I hate people that don't work out. Sorry if y'all don't work out. But like, I'm like, why you not working out? I make the biggest deal about it. Like, it's just like McDonald's. Like, if I'm in the car driving and you tell me to pull up to McDonald's, like I'm gonna pull up for you, but I'm gonna make you feel bad about eating McDonald's. Like, that's me. I might eat bad, but I'm not eating McDonald's. McDonald's? That's just me though. I'm gonna give you a hard time about it. You wanna put McDonald's in your body. I'm like, yeah, everybody says, but the fries good though. The fries the worst part. The fries, and not even that. They could be greasy, cool. I fry my tater tots in grease at home. But if you lose a fry in your seat, and you go and find it looked the same way it was when you bought it. Why it didn't mold? It gotta be something bad than that. Like, that's not good. That's not good food. You eat McDonald's, like, that's like my argument. So you eat McDonald's, dog. Like, yeah. Now y'all think about it when y'all gonna pull up over there. But all I'm gonna get is a McFlurry. Okay, that's good. That's good. My diet? It's cool. I eat good. Nah, I eat good. I cook. I'm a chef. Yeah. I'm a chef. Y'all can hire me too. For real? Yeah, for real. I cost a lot of money. My time, like, I'll cook for y'all though. Y'all can pull up to the crib. I'll cook for y'all, but if y'all want to hire me, I'll cost a lot of money. Huh? Yeah, seafood boil. I do it. What y'all want?
Oxtails.
Oxtail. Nah, I ain't gonna be my girl gonna make the oxtail. Yeah, but we all getting paid. I'm gonna show up, man. We're good. Yeah.
Hey, you just know.
What'd you say?
So you said we can pull up to the crib, right? 'Cause I'm going to Tampa.
I don't got my crib in Tampa. I ain't got my crib in Tampa right now. When I'm out there, pull up to the crib. Yeah, don't bring everybody over there. Y'all pull up, we can chill. But don't bring everybody. I can't feed her, I can feed you. Any questions?
You know, everybody be at Brady house.
No, man. Only Brady people be at Brady. Oh, you talking about the fans? Yeah, they be pulling up. The boat be pulling up behind us. Nah, don't do that. Shot. I'm open carry. Good, Brandon. Oh, we can all take a picture, you know? I want everybody. Got to.